Hi, my name is Eugene Bigay, and I'm a cross-country roller skater. Back in 2000, I did a cross-country roller skate for AIDS and homelessness awareness, pushing a Walmart shopping cart from the East Coast to the West Coast. That trip was a 5,626-mile trip that I documented. Um, I got stuck in California because of my hernia got really severe, and I had to get off my skates. Well, when I left um, different areas, and I don't want to get into a big discussion some of the areas that we're in because I'm in California. Um, I just want to talk about the things that happened to me. And one of the things that happened was people wonder how can I skate and have a support vehicle. Well, I would skate out about 20, 30 miles and then hitchhike back to my vehicle or take public transportation, which made it for a very long day. Very tiring, a lot of work. But being a roller skater, I was in good, healthy shape, good condition. And even though I was still slightly overweight, um, it didn't affect my skating that much. It did a little. I could have done better, more distance, but because I had the few extra pounds, it did take a little bit of a toll on that and my hernia. So when I skated to Florida, there was my hernia was getting really bad. So the Walmart down in I think it was one of the WalMarts in Florida took me to I don't even remember if it was down in Florida. One of the problems with my talking to you is that I do have some brain fog at times, and things get confusing, and I know it's related to what I'm eating. When you live my kind of lifestyle all my life that I have done, it is very hard for me to make a good healthy meal. So, especially when you're single and you're taught that a lot of stuff is very nutritious, even pizza, they even call it a vegetable now, which and pizza was my favorite, along with lasagna and steak. But I'm paying a heavy price for that. Sodas, I used to drink 2 liters a day of Diet Pepsi, and then went on the straight Pepsi because of all the controversy from aspartame. So I'm going to be talking. Since I've been out here, I became a reporter for Voices of the Street newspaper. It's a homeless newspaper in Salinas, California. And a lot of times I would eat over at Dorothy's place, which Dorothy's place is a nice place. They help the homeless, but they don't do it nutritionally. And even though they had a food program there where they changed their food menu to a more healthier menu, it still wasn't quite what I was looking for because I wanted to go vegetarian, and they wound up throwing a lot of vegetables out because the people who were cooking, even though they were super really nice people, they weren't vegetarian cooks. They're meat and potato cooks. So they would treat vegetables as a side dish instead of a main dish. and they, I don't think they really knew how to make a really healthy side dishes, or just didn't have the access to the quality of food required for a healthy eating lifestyle. So, and a lot of people think that a healthy eating lifestyle is meat and potatoes, and I always thought that was a healthy, healthy way of living and best way of eating. But I'm finding out that's not the case. I'm having a lot of health issues. I'm going to be drifting in and out of what I want to say because of I feel like I'm in a brain fog. But this is probably the best time to talk to you. I don't think I have that much longer to live. I think I'm going to be dying soon. I am 62 years old. Um, not as old as I'm not as old as the average age today uh, of surviving. But that's only if you ate it, if you've eaten a really good meal most of your life. And when your health starts to go, everything goes along with it. Now I'm going to be taking my glasses off because when I look at the screen, all you can see is the screen in it. So I'd rather you see me because with my I'm trying to document what I'm going through so other people can learn from it and not go through it. I taught over at the my being stuck in Salinas, California. It's supposed to be the salad bowl to the world, and you would think that this is the most healthiest place in the world to get very nutritious food, but actually it's not because they treat vegetables here as a side dish like the rest of the country instead of the main dish. And I started buying something that I think is supposed to be more healthier for you. I was brought up with Italian cooking, and I'm very big on pastas and pizzas and spaghetti, and and spaghetti is a very cheap meal, and I just absolutely love it. But it's not as good for you as people tend to think it is because the wheat that we have today is not the same wheat that was around during biblical times. So it's been changed a lot. So and the body doesn't recognize it as well as it did before. So I don't want to get into a big discussion on that. I'll leave it to the experts. But I'm starting to look at something else, and starting to look at it and doing it are two different things. And I'm not that much of a cook. I cook for myself, one person, and I buy at Smart and Final, and that's very difficult because I think Smart and Final is a food desert. What do I mean by food desert? You don't have a bigger selection as you would at a Safeway or an Acme Markets or a Pathmart or any of those other kind of places. Kroger's, So the meals are more unhealthier. The selection they have is a much unhealthier selection. But last night I went shopping, and it was very painful for me to go shopping. If you look at my fingers, I can't straighten out my pinky on my right hand. My left hand is okay, it's fairly straight. But up until a few weeks ago, I was able to straighten out straighten out my right hand, my right finger, my pinky. But each day that goes by, it's getting harder and harder. It seems like I'm either getting arthritis, or and it's getting worse, or I'm having health issues because I think I have diabetic neuropathy. My hands are numb all the time. Uh, I use the term numb to the fact that there are segments in it that's numb. It's hard to describe. And what it is, they get very painful. I think it's diabetic neuropathy. My feet are very painful also. Uh, I got a lot of my big toes throb most of the time, in pain. Uh, it's hard to walk most of the time. Uh, so going to Dorothy's is very hard because they usually have a long line of people standing outside, and I can't stand for long periods of time. So what I have to do is, a lot of times I won't, even though they claim that their foods are getting healthier, by the time I get into line, get in there, a lot of that stuff is gone. So it doesn't really pay me to go over there anymore. And I spoke to the director, Jill Allen. She's a nice lady, but I keep asking her if there's any way, as people that have handicaps or problems with walking, if we can get in there earlier or if we can be accommodated. And even though I made the request at their board meeting, they still haven't come back with an answer with that on yet. So I still don't go over there as much as I want. And even when the churches do come around to feed us, um, I love the people from the churches, but they don't understand the food that they're making us is actually killing us. What they're trying to do is trying to help us, and it's actually making things worse. Now, it might be fine for someone who has good health, but people who have problems with their health, it's actually making it worse for them. So I haven't been diagnosed with any condition yet, except for hypertension, high blood pressure. I'm on several different high blood pressure medications. And like the Atenolol, I take 100 milligrams twice a day. Anyone who takes high blood pressure medicine knows that that's pretty high. And I don't tell my doctor on the chest pains that I have all the time, because he wants me to go for testing, and I don't go to the hospital for any testing because I can't afford it. And I own a house in Pennsylvania. I rent it out, and that's how I receive money. But as being able to afford to go to the hospital, I can't do that because I'll lose it. You know, the hospital will wind up taking everything I own from me. So I gamble with my life each and every day with all the chest pains I have. When I go to sleep, I pray the next morning that I wake up. And it's pretty hard that way. But even the chest pains that I'm having now, it feels like my heart is vibrating. I don't know why it feels that way, but it does. And a lot of times I'll be going to bed and I'll be laying down and my heart will be vibrating, and I tell God, if you're going to take me, I'm ready to go. It gets so tiring living like this. You don't want to live like this. You want to be healthy. I want to skate back to the East Coast, but I can't. I'm in too much pain. Um, I can't even get on my skates. It's, it would be too painful to put my skates on my feet. And I recently got in touch with a friend. And when I roller skated through here back in '94, a group of skaters called Skate This skated with me down to the border into Tijuana, or to the border of Tijuana. Um, I've been recently in touch with him, and we talk about skating, and my heart cries out because I love roller skating. I don't like roller skating outside. I'm an indoor roller skater. I love it more indoors, but because I want to skate for a good cause like AIDS and homelessness awareness, I had devoted myself to waking people up to those two issues. So the homeless part that I'm doing now is I'm actually living a life of being homeless. I'm living on the streets. I used to live in my van and trailer, but the police have taken that from me. They've impounded it because I wanted people to know where I'm from Pennsylvania. I wanted to keep my tags on it, and I wanted to keep my driver's license so people know that I'm from Pennsylvania. And the police just got so fed up with me that they took my van and trailer and everything I had related to the cross country skate, all my documentation, and I've been trying to work it out with R&R Towing. They took one of my vehicles, and Always Towing took the other vehicle, and it really hurts. I feel that they took a part of me, that part of my life of doing good and enjoying helping people, and it seems like I feel like they cut it out of me. I like to get my stuff back. I like to get my vehicles back. The vehicles do need work. I do need to work them. I do need to fix them up. Uh, but it's very difficult for me because of my failing health. And boy, I wish I had everything back. And right now, it's really hard for me to talk because of the chest pain. So I'm getting real tired in doing this interview alone. So I'll be doing more interviews with myself. Um, I don't know if I'm going to go with scripted or non-scripted, um, so I can keep on track better. Um, I don't know if you want it. I hope you leave comments on whether or not you want it scripted or not, so I don't forget what I want to say, um, or what am I trying to think of? I don't know how much longer I have to live. It seems like each day that goes by, it gets worse and worse. Um, I'm hoping my problem, my hands, is just arthritis, but my heart is the biggest thing I'm worried about. Uh, I was going to have a meeting with the mayor on Thursday, but I couldn't go because I was just going through too much pain from my heart, and I had just had to relax. I think my blood pressure was high, and I was taking extra medicine to try to reduce it, but uh, I relaxed and I survived it. And that's the way I look at it every day: is am I surviving the next day or not? So I'm going to try to give you more information about what's going on. If you saw the condition of my skin has been peeling a lot. I got venous stasis in my legs, which, if you know anything about venous stasis, the blood pools in your legs and it oozes through the skin, and then you wind up having scabs on your skin, uh, and then they got to heal. And at times, people tell me that my legs are getting better, and what happens? Yeah, they do get better, but it's a vicious cycle. Uh, Even though they're doing a little better, that's it depends on what part of the cycle you're looking at it. Uh, when it's scabbing up, they look bad. When the scabs are healing, they look better. But it's a vicious cycle. It keeps going. It doesn't change. I have been putting my legs up more than I was before, but it's still a problem. So, and the doctor told me that I'll always have that, and someone's at the door. Thank you.